great quake of 2000 makes Los Angeles an island. Freedom is outlawed.
Your rules are really beginning to annoy me.
And only outlaws are free.
Hey, why?
Call me Snake.
Kurt Russell.
Nobody draws until this hits the ground. Draw.
Escape from L.A.
Surf's Up.
Rated R. Now playing at theaters.
Escape from L.A. is a 1996 American post-apocalyptic film co-written, co-scored and directed by John Carpenter and co-written and produced by Deborah Hill and Kurt Russell, with Kurt Russell starring as Snake Plissken, a sequel to Escape from New York. Escape from L.A. grossed $25 million in the United States and Canada from a $50 million budget, about as much as its predecessor, but a little more than half its significantly higher budget. Internationally, it grossed $16 million worldwide, with a total of $42 million.
And now, a special message. Say no to smoking. Say no to alcohol. Say no to red meat. Say no to rock music. Say no.
Your rules are really beginning to annoy me.
We're rolling! Hey, Mark. Action!
Snake Plissken is back in John Carpenter's Escape from L.A. 15 years after they made the classic Escape from New York, Carpenter and Kurt Russell have reunited to bring Snake into the 21st century.
This is Kurt's idea of an outrageous action hero.
Look at my face when I talk to you, shitheel!
He has an ultimate hatred of authority that is comical somehow.
Black box is a matter of national security.
What's it do?
Top secret. Only on a need to know.
Evidently, I don't need to know, so fuck you. I'm going to Hollywood.
Snake's such a great character because he's so cool. I just get a kick out of Snake.
Catches on quick, doesn't she?
It's one of the most amazing, visually stunning pictures I've ever seen. I mean, it's really just stunt-filled, action-filled.
Part of the fun of this movie is that you find Snake Plissken in a situation where he's got to surf his way out of it.
It's the biggest kick-ass movie I've ever done.
Welcome to L.A.
You're Snake Plissken, ain't you? I thought you were dead. Hey.
Escape from New York was a very dark view of the near future. So it wasn't a science fiction film that took place on another planet or in a spaceship or anything like that. It dealt really with things that you could see, like street gangs and buildings and darkness. I wrote it right out of film school in 1974. And it wasn't made till 81 because it was deemed to be too dark, and we treated the president with not enough respect. I think I wrote the movie originally for Charles Bronson or Clint Eastwood. And here comes Kurt Russell, who's a really, really great actor. This guy can act in anything. He can act any part. So off we went on Escape, and it's one of my favorite films.
It was done with the kind of sense of humor that we knew if the audience took it right, that they could have a great time with.
I'm not a fool, Plissken.
Call me Snake.
That looks like Snake Plissken. I hear you slowed down some.
You didn't look that slow, Clarabelle.
Kurt Russell and I had been talking about doing a sequel to this movie since about 1985. We were on an airplane coming back from New York, and we said, wouldn't it be great to go back and revisit it? And the gloom and doom and horror of New York that was going on when I wrote the original script basically has kind of moved out here to the West Coast. We'd had earthquakes, riots, mudslides, and fires in Los Angeles and figured, well, now we have a story.
In a period there of about 2 years, it seemed to all go at once. And the city, all of a sudden, became just a great place to escape from.
You can't just be walking around town without knowing the ropes. You take the wrong street, you're dead, pal.
Cut! Good.
Let's see, one more rehearsal, please. Here we go.
I worked with John certainly more than anybody else in my life. We've now made 5 movies together, and I find him to have a great dry sense of humor, an ultimate hatred of authority that is comical somehow, and a strange way of looking at the world.
Okay, one more time. Here we go.
I like that part of John.
See, that's fantastic. Can we handle that? Sure. Great.
There's a part of John that's Snake Plissken. It's that sort of establishment.
And cut. Oh, yeah, mama. Yeah. Personally, I kind of share this disdain for authority that Plissken has. It's kind of adolescent, kind of stuck in adolescence attitude. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Doesn't get me very far in life, but I still kind of hold it dear to my heart. And Kutski, all right. Cuts if you do. We share a lot in common about drama and timing and so forth. And we have a lot of respect for each other's job. And one of the reasons Kurt wanted to do this and got me back into it was, let's have some fun again. Let's have a blast. And he was right. It was an absolute blast to do it.
It's just an aftershock. No big deal. We get them all the time.
Part of the fun of this movie is that we wanted to take this guy into a world that had changed.
So we assume that in the year 1999, there's a gigantic earthquake that separates Los Angeles from the mainland. So it's now an island. And some of the areas of town are still somewhat intact, and some are wastelands. So Los Angeles is the deportation island for all the morally guilty people. That would include runaways, pornographers, drug dealers. I'd probably be sent there myself, as a matter of fact.
You may have escaped from New York, but this is LA, brother. And this city can kill anybody!
Cuervo Jones is a South American revolutionary. He runs with a paramilitary revolutionary group called Shining Path. And their goal is to take back North America.
Are you ready for the new world?
But Snake Plissken, once again, is brought into duty by the United States Police Force. And he has to kind of run a gauntlet to get this doomsday device from Cuervo Jones, which has the possibility of basically turning out the lights on the world, plunging it into the dark ages.
Sad story. You gotta smoke. Explain to this foot soldier why he's going to do what we tell him to do. What's he talking about?
The Plutopsin 7 virus.
He's a wanted man, and they force him to go on this mission by injecting him with a deadly virus that will kill him within 10 hours.
Of course, there is an antidote.
Which I will personally authorize once your mission is completed.
And that's kind of the modus operandi of the Snake character. You have to force him to do something. He won't do it for a cause. You have to say, you have no choice, pal, you're going to die. I think the main reason that the first movie's popularity has remained is the main character. He's the baddest guy in the bad world.
He is legendary in his meanness and his toughness to the world.
Nobody draws until this hits the ground. Draw.
Just left you wondering what made that guy so mean and so contrary to everything, everybody.
Thanks for not killing me, man. I owe you one.
The great thing I think that's fun to do with this character is we humiliate Snake.
Funny, though. I thought you'd be taller.
Just sort of brushes it off. It's a part of life and moves on.
We're holograms, Plissken.
John and I have always gotten a kick out of, well, what if we did this with Snake? And then we look at each other and say, man, that's really funny, but it really makes him look bad. And we go, yeah, that's good.
By the way, who gives me the antidote?
The medical team will be standing by.
Neither one of you?
No.
Good.
Bye-bye, Snake. Good luck.
Shit.
I'm always worried whenever we're doing any stunts, and particularly when you have an actor like Kurt Russell who likes to do his own stunt work. Jeff Amata, who was our stunt coordinator, and John Carpenter worked very closely on the set together and developed some remarkable action-filled scenes for Kurt Russell.
Cut and print.
was quite difficult keeping him off the motorcycle.
In this sequence, Snake Plissken sees a caravan going by with Cuervo Jones, who has a black box. So Snake proceeds to eliminate 19 guys from the back forward.
It's going straight out. I hit an even speed. I'll stay there. Okay, and you take your own timing. When it hits me, I'll let it go. Right on. Action!
Part of the fun of this movie is the different kinds of action.
Dude, is that you, Snake?
The tsunami sequence with Peter Fonda. It's going to be a blast to watch.
What is that? Tsunami, Snake. Tsunami! Woo!
I wrote this scene where Plissken and this old surfer surf down Wilshire Canyon. And it's one of those scenes where you read it and you say, well, there's no way we can do this.
Man, this is going to be some kind of bitch ride. Let's go. Come on. Woo!
Peter can tell you all about it. Peter's the expert. He's a surfer. You know, he knows all about it. He knows how to ride a tsunami.
Here's the secret. As told to Snake Plissken by pipeline.
Let the front edge pick you up. Don't get on your board till you ride to the top. And don't blow it, man. If you fall off the board, it's the big white high.
Finished.
You got it? Woo! Bitchin'.
Sure enough, somewhere in your life, there comes the time when a tsunami is on the way. You've been shot in the leg. You're in Wilshire Canyon, and there's no way out other than to surf out of it.
Hang on, Snake.
If you can imagine the force of any tidal wave, we've managed to put together some great effects on it, and it's fantastic.
Later.
One of the ways that we approached what Los Angeles would look like is that we sort of said, okay, if there was an earthquake of this size, what would be left? There would certainly be some areas that would exist. There would be other areas that would be reduced to total rubble. Creating the earthquake was hard because we have crashes. We built the Bonaventure Hotel and we're crashing that. We have the spectacular tsunami. The freeway overpass collapse is actually one of those 4 changes, and so it's sort of stacked up.
John wanted the 4-level interchange to collapse. So the only way to do that is to build it, and build it big. This thing is capable of shaking, moving up and down, getting a big shock wave moving through it. All the columns have breaking points inside, which when we shoot the final collapse, they'll mushroom out. This whole thing basically will come down. All these cars that are going to be on the freeway are all radio controlled, so we can drive them in, we can smash them to the railings, we can have them get into wrecks with each other. We'll have a giant tractor trailer come through the second level at camera.
When we roll cameras, we're going to do it, because once we're committed, we're committed.
Roll cameras, clear!
Action!
We are on Sunset Boulevard, circa 2013, after a major earthquake. What I tried to do is build up a very textured, layered look. We've literally moved 29 tons of concrete rubble, and we've dressed all the streets with just massive concrete pieces. There's a whole different kind of energy that takes place when you do this type of set.
That set was interesting because scientists like to say, this couldn't happen in Los Angeles, even if there was a big earthquake. Well, if you've seen any of those pictures of China, then you know that that's what Sunset Boulevard could very well look like if there was a really big earthquake.
Don't shoot. Well, I've been hanging out around here for more years than I want to think about, but I never thought I'd see Snake Plissken cruising Sunset Boulevard. I'm after the stars, Eddie.
We tried to think of a character who would be indigenous to L.A., and it's Map to the Stars Eddie is a kind of a sleazebag talent agent who sells maps.
Welcome to your very own Map to the Stars.
It's me. Sure. And then runs around making deals and sells everyone out. He's a very familiar character to anyone who's worked in Hollywood.
Yeah, she's gonna love you, Snake. You're gonna love her, too. We're gonna make this thing happen. Oh, by the way, I'm through with Cuervo. The guy's got no sense of loyalty whatsoever.
He's on any side that will benefit him.
Oh, Cuervo, it's so good to see you.
He's a survivor. He's a go-getter. He's a do-gooder and a bedwetter. He's just a funny guy.
When John and I and Kurt were approaching the casting of the movie, what we wanted to do is cast around Snake Plissken some really interesting personas. So we decided that what we might do is to go sort of retro casting. So Cliff Robertson plays the President of the United States.
I've got to go to my quarters. I've got to pray.
Stacy Keach plays Cliff Robertson's right-hand man, Malloy.
The United States is a no-smoking nation. No smoking, no drinking, no drugs, no women.
Valeria Golina plays Tess Lima.
If you want to make noise, go and find another bush.
And Cuervo Jones is played by George Corafach.
Bend over, Mr. President. Time for a spanking.
He's a trained revolutionary. He's after power. He's after control. And he's very smart. Not as smart as Snake Plissken, but almost.
Now is the time to rise up and demand the surrender of the president.
Utopia is the president's daughter. And she's rebelling against her father, who's become like this dictator. And Cuervo Jones manipulates her and convinces her that she can help him save the world. So she does that. She hijacks a plane, takes off, and becomes Cuervo's queen.
We're going to start our way back to glory!
All I'd heard auditioning was innocent, young, naive. I did not see anything about lingerie.
Surgical failures. They live here. Too many implants and facelifts over the years. Their muscles turn to jello.
Deborah wrote this scene where Beverly Hills is inhabited by surgical failures who capture people who are live specimens, bring them in there, cut them up, and sew them onto their bodies.
We're both dead meat.
So to pull this off, I went to Rick Baker, who's the best special effects makeup guy in the world.
The makeups are all kind of based on real plastic surgery kind of techniques, only done a little more crudely. We have a lot of, cheekbone implants and, too much collagen in the lips and just, kind of poor taste plastic surgery is what we've done. It's pretty strange quarters inside there with some pretty strange looking people. It makes you wonder where cosmetic surgery might go.
We created the Surgeon General of Beverly Hills, and this is a guy who's always looking for plastic surgery parts.
These are no good. I can't work with garbage like this.
This role needed somebody to play it in a real way and yet be completely tweaked. And Bruce Campbell can play tweaked like nobody's business.
What a beautiful blue eye. Shame he only has one. Nurse?
Very nice. I mean, there are a couple of masks and looks in that scene that are obviously over the top. But in terms of Bruce, we wanted you to think, I've seen people like this walking around the streets.
The Surgeon General is a little bit of a cross between Michael Jackson and Siegfried and Roy. It's just kind of plastic surgery taken a little too far.
We have the slightly pointed nose. It's undergone a few too many shavings. The veneer teeth, a little too white and straight. And then we've done the Kirk Douglas chin, because everyone would want a Kirk Douglas chin.
And I wanted to give him bad hair plugs.
We've got the little bit of the doll's head going here. People are a little embarrassed, though. They'll see me on the set and go, that's not your hair, is it?
86A, take one.
I would have cut him.
Very nice. What did you think?
Escape from New York. Snake was taken at one point and thrown to the wolves, to be the evening's entertainment. And it was clubs with nails and trash can lids. Very, what's the word? Gladiatorial, So in this one, I came up with this little game that Cuervo likes to put his prisoners through. And it came off of an idea that John had about a basketball 24-second shot clock. If you didn't get the shot off before the buzzer went, you got shot.
It was sort of a Millennium Gladiator sequence. And we thought about going to the Forum, we thought about going to all these basketball places, and then it occurred to me that the greatest place to be the LA Coliseum, because it's such a huge area. And what you could do with an empty Coliseum would be a really kind of moody thing.
This is insane.
It is. That's the point.
Game time!
So we bring Snake into that. I guess the hope there was to let the audience sort of think, okay, what are they going to do this time?
All you gotta do is make 10 points. By the way, nobody's ever walked off that court alive. Nobody.
Got it. Both John Carpenter and Kurt Russell wanted the character Snake Plissken to actually make the basket rather than through Hollywood magic.
We wanted to get me making the baskets. We wanted to get me in the same shot as the ball going in the hoop, and we wanted to do as many in a row as we could.
So we set up a basketball hoop for Kurt so that the 50-so nights of shooting that we did before we got to the Coliseum, he could rehearse every night, and he got to be a pretty good ball player.
That's the one. You got it on film, didn't you? Yeah, it's there forever. Thanks. Print it. The problem here is that I can't wear my glasses, and I have to have the eye patch on. See this here? Black. Watch. Follow the ball to the hoop.
He's been hitting them, but
Yeah, it's that eye patch.
it's the eye patch.
It was pretty hard because of the one eye. And also because if you're going to do it a lot of times, you're going to get tired.
We'll just keep trying it over and over again.
Here we go, guys and gals.
Do you get remarks?
And action!
I guess I went up and down the court about 150 times during the night. I got pretty tired.
Almost, man. I thought it was in.
It was kind of a night where I began to feel my age a little. The hardest thing about it, though, was having been an athlete, performed in front of people before, you like to do well. Not fun to go out there in front of a lot of people and fail miserably, and not be able to get the basket in the hoop. Very quickly on in the evening, bets were flowing, and I won a lot of people some money, and I lost a lot of people some money.
Eventually, we made every basket there. There was a layup. There was a jump shot. There was a three-pointer. There was a mid-court shot. Then there's a full-court lob. But I don't think I'll give away how the scene ends. I don't think I should.
I'm here, Pliskin. Have you got the black box?
I can get your precious little box back, but I'm gonna need more time, you understand?
You listen to me, Pliskin. That little headache that just kicked in will only get worse. You're starting to feel the effects of the virus. Now, you bear that in mind.
Snake has a time clock to work against if he wants to live, but he's a guy that can survive. So he will figure out a way.
This is big. It's Snake Plissken. I brought him here to see you, Hershey.
What's in it for me? I know that voice. You're Carjack Malone. Not anymore.
Snake and Carjack, we were buddies. And at the time when we were buddies, I was a man. And I'm no longer a man, and it surprised him.
You look a little different in those days, Carjack.
You get one thing straight, Pliskin. I'm no longer Carjack Malone. I'm Hershey Les Palmas, the most drop-dead to die for number you ever laid that one eye on.
I said to John, I said, why can't we just take a character that's a transsexual and just make him a guy that Snake kind of likes? A guy, girl, he, she, so that's what Hershey is the name of the character. So John started laughing. He started liking the idea of this character.
Why should we leave? I love L.A.
Pam Grier did some really fun, very hip stuff, and she's terrific.
So how are we going to get out?
I'll tell you that when we get there.
Oh, Pliskin, man, you are such a loser, man. Making up shit along the way. No deal.
Government chopper. It'll be there.
Okay, that's better.
Hershey wants to kill Snake, but ends up helping Snake.
The wind's up. Come on, let's go!
We have a hang glider attack on the Happy Kingdom, and our heroes take off from the Queen Mary downtown. They fly through downtown Los Angeles, and there's a giant attack on this amusement park.
It's a battle sequence that is certainly unparalleled in any movie that I've ever worked in.
There's thousands of extras, hundreds of stunts, people flying in on hang gliders, fist fights happening.
It's all at night, and it involves all sorts of stunts, all sorts of action. We've just had a blast doing it.
Escape from LA is kind of a tour through LA, through Snake Plissken's eyes.
You can see some pretty cool stuff. You gotta be kidding me.
You've never seen anything like it.
It is a great ride, and it is a great escape.
I told you you'd better hope I didn't make it back.
15 years after Plisken's excellent New York adventure, he's been resurrected by Carpenter and Russell and condemned to visit Los Angeles in a sequel which also reunites them with producer Deborah Hill. But now Russell is a bankable star, so the latest escape is being funded as a big-budget studio epic. We joined the team as they came to the end of a grueling schedule, 70 nights of shooting complicated, high-octane action sequences.
John has a unique way of making movies. It is a different world. It's the Escape from New York world. It's the Escape from LA world. It's a world that will never exist.
A man has a mission. He has to go on a journey.
Worldwide.
Changes the world one way or the other.
I've never seen one in person.
John and I had talked about doing another movie where we took Snake Plissken into another situation years ago, 10 years ago. We can tell you.
I suppose that it was a difficult decision to do a sequel in some senses, going back to the old character again. Maybe there was a little bit of fear. You see, I wrote the original screenplay back in 1974, and now we're talking, that was when I was a young kid. And so I probably was worried I couldn't get back into that mindset again.
We talked about it throughout the years, but there really wasn't that special kind of moment that we thought, let's do it, until the real earthquake of, let's see, 93, I guess.
The earthquake struck at 4:30 in the morning local time and lasted about a minute. Residents became refugees in the City of the Angels.
It was so frightening for all of us and for our families that we decided to really pool our resources and make Escape from LA. And we wanted to make it about earthquakes and floods and mudslides and drive-by shootings. We wanted the darkness of LA to be in it.
We put this together because we thought Los Angeles was a city that seemed ripe for a place for Snake to try to get into and get out of.
1, 2, 3.
We're doing to LA what we did to New York in the first one, which is kind of give it a little boost in the butt.
Hey Don, how's it going tonight?
It's going ducky. Just ducky. You know.
You're gonna finish?
I've been praying. Escape from LA is a much bigger film than the original movie, and it's being done by a major studio. And so far, the working relationship has been joyous. We've had a great time. They believe in what we're doing. This is what I would call a tweaked movie. This is not a straight-ahead action film. It's very bizarre. And the head of Paramount, Sherry Lansing, was always a big fan of the original and wanted us to kind of do another one in the same vein. I'd call it cowboy noir.
The original Escape from New York cost $7 million. And the making of the first one was, well, it was exciting for us at the time because it was the biggest budget film that we had ever done. We took Manhattan as an island and we made it a very dark world. It was perceived to be ahead of its time, and it got creatively, from critical success, it did very, very well around the world, and it made some money.
Been a while.
They dug the premise and the story, and I think probably most of all in Escape from New York, they dug the main character.
Pliskin? Pliskin, what are you doing?
Playing with myself. I'm going in.
He's the one who carries us through everything. He's the one you want to see. He's such a strange and cool guy.
The character of Snake Plissken is very different. He's a socially unredeemed character, which is very, very rare. Even anti-heroes generally have a socially redeeming quality to them. This character has none. He's a sociopath who is put into a situation. The trick is to try to make the audience feel like they are on his side or that they pull for him, even though he's sort of the worst of the worst.
We brought along a lot of history of motion pictures with us to create that character. And as I say, Escape from L.A. and Escape from New York, they're cowboy noir. It's a kind of a cross of genres between Western and film noir.
We started shooting December 11th, and it's been really trying because we have 70 nights. People are very, very tired. It's cold. We have sometimes 50 setups, multiple camera. We're shooting 4 cameras at times. We've had a scene with 600 extras, and we're shooting at the Universal backlot right now, and they're having a problem with their neighbors, and we can't shoot guns after 9:30. So we're going to have to add them optically, and it's a real problem.
Background, action!
Well, one of the big advantages is that all the executives are asleep, so they can't really yell at you. No, it's at night you get to create mood, you get to create fantasy. This entire movie is basically a fantasy of the future, a very dark future, and the only way to do it is to really do it at night. We have to deal with various LA icons, is what we're doing. This is the ruins of Disneyland, would be the main square, but it is, the whole thing is facade. And parts of LA are a facade. This is a kind of a peculiar and unique vision of a future in the fact that everybody's bad in it. So I'm really not worried that Escape from LA is derivative of anything. The only thing it may be derivative of is the first film, which it closely resembles in terms of its characters and structure.
This is Escape from LA, Paramount Studios, reference time set -18 dB.
Give it that sheen. So.
Start up pretty high and then come down, you know? Why do you say you really don't need
You've been to the branches. I like the way he makes a movie. I love the process of working with John. It's a great fun time.
Yeah.
He has a way of seeing things through a lens that I find enjoyable to be inside of. I like, I guess in some ways, carrying out characters that I think in some regard are alter egos of John.
You're gonna have to sleep sometime, McCready.
I'm a real light sleeper, child. Anyone tries to wake me.
Clear! Clear!
Clear. He's done a lot of different movies. I've worked in a lot of different ones with him, so
People tend to forget that he directed Elvis. He's a versatile director, but I think his great strengths lie in movies like, and especially in movies like Escape from New York and Escape from LA.
I love directing, even after 18 movies. It's harder. It's harder for Kurt to go out and do the action scenes just because we're older. We'd rather be home watching basketball.
Look out, guys!
Escape from LA is a title that means something in the marketplace. The fact that it's John Carpenter's Escape from LA means the difference to a studio supporting him and greenlighting the movie and letting him have the creative controls that they've given him on this picture. I think it's the package. I think it's the script, John, Kurt, the whole thing.
Oh, thank God Almighty. Thank God Almighty. Welcome back, sir.
It's an important movie for other people to judge John by, I think. John and I feel the same way about that. You know, we don't make movies that are less or more important in our lives. We make movies. Some movies are going to be successful, some aren't. We don't judge our movies by their success. We judge them by, number one, how much fun we have doing it, how much pleasure we get out of the process, and number two, by how much pleasure the audience gets out of it.
You gotta smoke.
The United States is a no-smoking nation, Pliskin. No smoking, no drinking, no drugs, no women. Unless, of course, you're married. No guns, no foul language, no red meat.
Land of the free.
Cut!
That Escape from LA is not either.
No, it's not. These movies are not meant to be that. America has a very difficult time with that. The movies that John and I have made together, we've had to make decisions on the set and in writing them, whether or not to do something that would be more acceptable to the audience. And we've always chosen to be true to what we felt 50 years later would be the better movie to watch. We've done it again with Escape from LA, and I think that the reaction to the movie is going to be that too.
Ça, c'est Snake Plissken.
Qui?
Un hors-la-loi célèbre. Et puis il a disparu du circuit il y a quelques années.
C'est un cinéma de série B et de série B revendiqué, même quand il a les moyens de faire de la série A, entre guillemets, et de faire des choses léchées, de faire des choses qui vont dans le sens du poil. Non, il se débrouille pour que ça grince.
Snake Plissken is you.
Truly, there is a lot of me in Snake Plissken. I mean, not totally. I have two eyes. I don't have an eye patch. But yeah, I hate authority. I don't like being told what to do. And I think that drives the character. I find him funny. And I find that part of me funny too.
On va jouer suivant les règles du petit Bangkok.
I wanted to make westerns in this business from the very beginning. And I wasn't able to because of my typecasting as a horror director. So I made sort of sneaky westerns. In other words, westerns under another name. And Escape from LA is definitely a western. Directing is like anything else in life. It's wonderful, but there's an enormous downside. You don't really have much of a personal life as a director. It's very hard on your lifestyle. And you get very weary fighting the battles over and over and over again. And sure, one comes to a certain age and you say, why am I doing this again?
Il faut souhaiter pour vous que je n'en revienne pas.
In the year 2013, most diseases will be eliminated. The first babies will be born in space. Personal freedom will be restricted, and all undesirables will be deported to the island of Los Angeles.
Welcome to LA.
Kurt Russell.
Nobody draws until this hits the ground. You ready?
Escape from LA.
Draw.
Rated R. Plan your escape. Friday, August 9th.
I give you the death of Snake Plissken!
For those of you who thought ultimate anti-hero Snake Plissken was already dead, I've got news for you. He's alive and kicking and punching and shooting his way into theaters one more time, all the while trying desperately to escape from LA. Star Kurt Russell, director John Carpenter, and producer Deborah Hill have reunited 16 years after Escape from New York. This time, it's the year 2013, and Los Angeles is an island prison for all those deemed morally corrupt.
Action!
This character, I mean, it's one that's been a favorite of both mine and Kurt, and we've always wanted to do a sequel because he's such a cool guy.
You got a problem with that?
Not only does Russell look almost exactly as he did back in the 1980 original, he even managed to squeeze into his old costume.
And it fit okay. I needed to do a little more working out to get it to fit right,
And though Snake sports a new high-tech stealth suit through most of the film and battles a whole new slew of villains, Carpenter assures us that this picture remains true to its predecessor.
Most of the audience has not seen the original film. They don't know who Snake is, so we have to reintroduce him to the world and say, here he is, as if the other one wasn't made. But at the same time, try to make it so that the fans of the first one will enjoy themselves.
Though Russell's $10 million salary was more than the entire budget of the first film, he claims it was really his love of the character that brought him back to the role.
It's almost like Snake was trained in everything there was. At some point you'll have to hang glide, at some point you'll have to surf. So today, boys, we're grab your boards, we're gonna learn to surf a tsunami.
Let the front edge pick you up. Don't get on your board till you ride to the top. Don't blow it. If you fall off the board, it's the big one now.
With the stunning Wilshire Boulevard tsunami sequence, compliments of Buena Vista visual effects, the filmmakers have redefined the term Surf City.
We found this sort of machine in Texas called the Wave Lock, and we were able to shoot that and do green screen, and it all kind of came together, all the water elements and everything. And I just think it's a really cool thing for this character to do, He's trapped, during an earthquake, on Wilshire Corridor, and the fastest way out is on a wave. That's only logical.
And though Snake manages to make his escapes look relatively effortless, working amid big special effects is not always fun and games.
I fly, so hang gliding was a lot of fun, difficult sequences to do because they're technically involved. You've shot some of it, you've got some of it yet to shoot. Those are long processes.
Who are you? I'm your president. I understand you got some domestic problems.
In the film, the United States is ruled by a morally superior, evil president. Is there perhaps a message Carpenter hopes the audience will take home with them during this election year?
Oh, it's a good time. I mean, I want them to have a good time in this. It's a ride, and I want them to think that what Snake does in the end, given his circumstances, is a fairly cool thing to do. It's pretty dark, but it's pretty cool.
There's no questioning Snake's coolness. Now the filmmakers hope Escape from LA is also cool enough to heat up the late summer box office.
And now, a special message. Say no to smoking. Say no to alcohol. Say no to red meat. Say no to rock music. Say no.
Your rules are really beginning to annoy me.
It takes more than big guns to save the world.
Hey, One-Eye! Call me Snake.
It takes the bad attitude.
Nobody draws until this hits the ground.
Kurt Russell. Escape from LA. Rated R.
Draw.
Plan your escape. Friday, August 9th.
Welcome back to SF Vortex, everybody. Wait a minute, what happened on my desk? Oh, little problem here in space. No gravity. Got to get the guys to work on that. Escape from New York fans waited 15 years for the return of Snake Plissken. Oh, how is it possible? Well, the time has finally come. This weekend, we escape from L.A.
I give you the death of Snake Plissken!
Now hold it just a minute. This isn't the sweet and innocent L.A. we all know and love. This L.A. is just downright nasty.
Once an American loses his or her citizenship, they are deported to this island of the damned, and they never come back.
That is, unless you're Snake Plissken, a.k.a. Kurt Russell, sent by the feds to retrieve a weapon of great power and destruction.
You go into L.A., bring back the black box, and you will receive a full pardon for every immoral act you have ever committed in the United States.
Sounds familiar. I get that character. Snake Plissken has been one that I've had the opportunity to play. That's been my favorite. And that's after playing a lot of different characters. And ones that I've really enjoyed.
Nobody rolls into town and disrespects me. Not Snake Plissken, not nobody.
It's like a negative image of he's a reverse flow of James Bond. There's nothing he can't figure out.
There you are, Snake.
Design the film to be is a movie that stands on its own. In other words, if you've never seen the first film, it doesn't matter, because you understand who Snake is, you're introduced to him. But he's a kind of the guy we'd all like to be. He doesn't care about you, he doesn't care about me, he doesn't care about anything but staying alive for 60 seconds.
Some people think you're already dead, Snake. Some say you never will be. Because you may have survived Cleveland. You may have escaped from New York. But this is L.A., Vato.
It is a great ride, and it is a great escape.
No smoking. Hard hat. Not an exit. Protection. Watch your step. No bus stop.
Your rules are really beginning to annoy me.
Hey, One-Eye!
Call me Snake.
Kurt Russell.
What do you say we play a little Bangkok rules? Nobody draws until this hits the ground. Draw.
Escape from L.A.
Surf's up.
Rated R. Plan your escape Friday, August 9th.
Seems lots of folks want to escape from L.A. these days. Actually, now we're referring to the film of the same name, Escape from L.A. Fans made a getaway to Wednesday night's premiere, while the cast made a real Hollywood entrance.
The star of Escape from L.A., Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell and his main squeeze, Goldie Hawn, along with co-stars, arrived in style to promote the new sci-fi film, a sequel to the 1981 cult hit Escape from New York. And although Kurt's character has aged a bit, everyone agrees he's as tough as he ever was.
He's got a few more miles on him, but that's perfect, because he's supposed to be this, kind of craggy, tough guy.
He's the same guy, same belligerent, angry man. Yeah.
It has great special effects in Kurt Russell, and how could you not miss it,
It's a great flick, and it's a very cult, movie, and it won't let you down.
It's not a sociological kind of a statement. It's not an indication of what's going to happen in the future. It's just a visual romp.
It took him 6 months to get in shape for it, but he can still wear the same outfit he wore in 1981 for the Escape from New York film. Escape from L.A. opens Friday at theaters nationwide.
Escape from Kurt.
Hey, honey. Right, I gotta find my girl.
Kurt Russell got nervous when his longtime love, Goldie Hawn, disappeared at the Hollywood premiere of his latest movie, Escape from L.A. The two arrived together at the front of a motorcycle pack to celebrate the return of Kurt's patched alter ego, Snake Plissken. 16 years after Snake escaped from New York, the cast now has to deal with earthquake-ravaged California.
Oh, I don't know if the LA Chamber of Commerce is really real pleased with the Escape from LA.
And that's today's Celebrity Traffic Report. Meep, meep.
This is Entertainment Tonight for Thursday, August 8th, 1996. Hi, everybody. I'm Mary Hart.
And I'm Bob Goen.
From hero to anti-hero, from Tom Cruise to Snake Plissken. The premiere of Kurt Russell's Escape from L.A. knocked Hollywood on its ear last night, right from the moment when Kurt and Goldie roared up on two wheels. E.T.'s Chris Raggi was there as well.
Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn arrived by motorcycle, and Hollywood Boulevard was turned into a mini battleground for the premiere of Escape from L.A., the follow-up to the cult classic Escape from New York. You waited 15 years for the sequel. Are you as excited for this one as you were for the first one?
Yeah, I am. I hope people have fun with it.
You got a problem with that?
Kurt plays the legendary Snake Plissken, a man who just won't die. Kurt and Goldie's son Wyatt is also in the film. What are you more excited for, Kurt or Wyatt?
Oh, that's a tough question. I mean, it really is.
I'd say Wyatt, wouldn't
I'd
you?
say Wyatt, yeah.
A closely shaved Billy Zane and Escape fan Kelsey Grammer were among the guests.
You know what? I like the first one. That's why I'm here.
Escape from L.A. is full of action, loaded with car and motorcycle chases, and even has Kurt surfing a post-earthquake tidal wave down Wilshire Boulevard after the bad guys. After the screening, the real Snake Plissken and 2,000 of his guests poured onto Hollywood Boulevard for a wild party. Rubble, smoke, and deafening music completely stopped traffic for 2 blocks as sets from the movie were recreated on the Street of Stars. What did you think? Everybody's real fired up in there. They seem to love it.
They had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but they took it in the right spirit, I'm glad to see. You know, they had fun with the fun that we had with L.A.
So it's Escape from L.A., a surefire box office smash. He may be biased, but Kurt and Goldie's son Wyatt has an opinion. Quote, "This is the best movie I have ever seen." And I think he means it, Bob.
Yeah.
He was in it.
Yeah, he was great. He had a small part, but Goldie's real proud of both of them.
He Good. Made it
work.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
Attention citizens. The United States Police Force requests your assistance in apprehending our most wanted fugitive. Eye patch. Tattoo. Trained in combat. Name. S.D. Plissken.
Call me Snake.
Kurt Russell.
Nobody draws until this hits the ground.
John Carpenter. Escape from L.A.
Draw.
Rated R. Plan your escape Friday, August 9th.
Kurt Russell is on his way out, the hero of the Olympics. Kerry Strug is here, and stand-up comedian Wayne Fetterman. All righty, my first guest has been making movies for over 30 years. He's still one of the top box office stars in the world, and a nice guy. I like this guy. You know him from such hits as Tombstone, Backdraft, and Stargate. His latest film is John Carpenter's Escape from L.A. It opens today, action movie, but all kinds of little inside jokes in it. Very cool movie. And for the first time in recorded memory that I ever heard, he is wearing a suit. You are in for a treat. Kurt Russell, ladies and gentlemen. Kurt Russell. Well, yes, sir, I would like to buy some term life insurance. How much is it?
I finally decided to wear a suit for you.
I'm glad. I'm very flattered because I see you around town. I know you're not a suit guy, and
we've been on the promotional tour for Escape from LA. This is the last thing I'm doing, and
no, that's good. Celebrate. That's good. I like it because you had the leather pants in the movie.
Yeah,
the tightest leather. Was that actually? Yeah. Was that? See, I thought they had just dyed your own skin.
Yeah,
is that?
right. No, actually, that stuff's not leather. It's a weird kind of material because it was supposed to be stealth clothing, see, so you couldn't pick Snake up on heat detectors. And
the
Robin
heat from
Bush,
his pants could not be picked up. Right.
And Robin Bush made this stuff. It was a weird kind of material, kind of I don't know. It had like lead in it and stuff. It was
lead,
weird.
good for you
kind of
too.
strange.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, kind of an asbestos lining.
When they're that tight, are they hard to get on?
No, they moved real good actually.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. Let me ask you something else. Now, obviously, you watch the movie. The movie's 2 hours long, so I'm figuring at least 8 weeks of wearing that eye patch.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, do you find it disorienting? Is it strange?
The first 3-4 days is really, you get headaches, and it's really,
Oh,
I'd
really?
forgotten that. That was the one thing that I forgot about it. I said, oh yeah, I can do this again. And about 2 days in, I thought, man, it's a big mistake. And you get used to it, and then after a while, it doesn't bother you at all.
Well, because, I like the film, because it's funny. I mean, it's an action film, but there's all these little inside jokes that you have to hear. The one about Happy Land, which I guess
Happy
is supposed
Kingdom
to
by
be,
the Sea?
it's supposed
Yeah,
to be like,
well, it was Disneyland. It
like
went bankrupt. Paramount took it over. It went bankrupt.
something in Paris. It was bankrupt. You hear all these little sort of jokes, which make me laugh.
The first movie had a lot of stuff in it like that, and so the second movie we wanted to, give the audience something that 3-4 viewings later they could pick up on.
I'm trying to think. I've seen almost every film you've been in. I'm trying to think of a romantic, because you always play an action guy.
Yeah.
Have you ever played a romantic lead?
What? I can't.
Well, you had that love scene with Stallone and Tango and
there was
Cash.
that.
I remember that.
Tequila Sunrise. That was kind of, at least he thought he was a romantic lead, the character.
Well, yeah, I remember the first one I can think of. I found a clip, actually.
I know. The first time I ever got really the only romantic lead I ever really played was the Horse in the Gray Flannel Suit.
Horse in the Gray Flannel Suit.
No, you
yes, that's the one I have. That's the one I have. Yes. This is you. What is this, about 1969?
Oh, I guess.
And this is you hitting on a woman.
A woman?
Circa 1969. Well, let's take a look. The Horse in the Gray Flannel Suit.
How about a movie tonight? A movie? Me? I mean us?
And afterwards, maybe a pizza or something.
I really have to practice.
Well, let the horse practice.
Thanks, Ronnie, but I can't tonight, really.
Well, then how about Friday night?
Still doing it. You're very kind.
And I like the mole haircut.
Yeah,
kind of the bowl thing. Now, were you a smooth talker as a kid? Were you pretty good with women?
It wasn't too bad. I didn't.
They got Goldie Hawn.
I was got the one girl. I got the girl in the end.
I got the girl. Yeah.
But I didn't spend a whole lot of time.
Do you remember your first date? Because I was talking to somebody about this. Since you've been an actor since you've been, what, 4 or 5?
Well, I was 9 years old.
Okay, 9 years old. Was your first kiss a screen kiss or like every normal person kind of date?
I'll bet you it was a screen kiss. I don't remember. But I remember my first girlfriend. I remember my first sort of kiss.
First sort of?
Well, it wasn't much of a kiss. It was, it was a peck on the cheek. I was pretty nervous. I was too nervous to hold her hand for like 5 months. I was pretty...
Now, who was that?
Gail Doherty.
Gail Doherty?
I wonder if Gail Doherty.
I thought you were going to say Helen Hayes or something.
Well, I was really, I was in the 8th grade, and I came back from doing a show, and so I went to public school, and I remember seeing this really cute girl, and then she stood up, and she was unbelievably short, and I was excited because I was about 4'10".
Oh, yeah.
And she was actually shorter than I was. So.
Oh, that's great. Now, where is she now? Have you heard from her?
I don't know. I don't know.
Come on up! No, we don't have her. I'm sorry. Look at the look in your face. What a surprise! Let's get her out! Oh, my God, no!
That would be, I'd like that, actually. That'd be fun.
Did you ever want to do anything else besides act? Was there any other profession?
Just the 2 things I wanted to do were play ball and act. That was about it.
Did you ever? So you never played. Did you ever?
Played pro ball for 3 years.
You
minor
did?
league ball. Yeah, minor league ball.
Oh, okay. Which would you rather do? Let me ask you a question. Here you go. Here's one of these dope people. What would you rather do? Win the World Series or an Oscar?
Oh, World Series.
World Series?
Yeah. Well, you win a World Series, you're given an Oscar.
Oh, you win a World Series,
you're given an Oscar.
No, I'll say my screw up. Let's talk about the movie a little bit here some more now. Now, there's one scene that they sent over, the surfing scene.
Oh yeah, the movie is, geez, please have fun with it. It's not. Some people take this real seriously.
But I see some critics take it really because it's campy. I mean, it's action, but it is campy.
It's escape from. It's taken from Escape from New York, where it was a maximum security prison. I mean, the setup is a joke.
Right.
And it's not. I didn't think it's too tough to get, but
I love the fact that
it goes all the way to where finally I'm surfing a tsunami.
I like that LA is like immoral. So all the immoral people of the world come to LA.
There's 2 worlds. There's the theocratic world of the United States, which is total control, and then there's completely uncontrolled Los Angeles, which is,
So it's
anarchistic.
A true story, essentially.
Well, yeah, it's derived.
Well, let's show this scene. Now, this scene, this is where you're trying to catch the bad guy. You run into Peter Fonda.
He hasn't. Steve Buscemi plays this guy he thinks he's killed me.
Right.
And Peter Fonda is a guy who I ran into early on. Captain America is the first guy I saw when I got to L.A. He's an old surfer.
Here's a scene you will not believe. Take a look from Escape from L.A.
Bitchin', man.
Yeah. Felt like Frankie Avalon up there.
But see, that was the Pulp Fiction music, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, all those
Steve
little
Buscemi,
Now, how did they do that scene? Now, do you surf?
Very poorly. Well, as you can see. There were 2 guys that surfed on a man-made wave in Texas, and then there was digital work, and then there was Peter and I on a surfboard, and then green screen behind us, you know.
So how
it's okay.
Special effects. So how many days is that? I mean, how many days is that you being just soaking wet in that surfboard?
I guess about 4 nights altogether.
4 nights. So 4 like 12-hour nights for like 3.5 minutes.
Right.
That's
Just for
a minute and a half.
yeah, it's really
minute
quick.
and a half.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Now, where are you off to tonight? You have a premiere?
Toronto. No, I'm going to back up to Canada. Yeah, I'm going there right now.
Well, listen, I'll let you go. I know you got a plane to get. Hey, thanks for coming.
It's
We
great
always
seeing
like
you.
having you.
It
Good
really
to see you,
is.
man. Thanks for wearing a suit. We're right back with Kerry Strug right after this. Kurt Russell.
Who's an aspiring screenwriter, and he just loves the laser discs of your films where you talk about, and he's a very bright young man. I know he's going to go places because his collegiate record has been just amazing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and he's a great friend of yours. So, well, John Carpenter, my goodness, it's been a long time since we have sat across from one another.
And here we are again.
And here we are again, and I am so happy to tell you I thoroughly enjoyed Escape from LA.
Thank you.
Yes, looked forward to it, and I really enjoyed it. But the thing I believe that people maybe should know is that it's not a continuation of the New York story.
That's right. When you make a sequel, especially one that's separated in time so far from the first one, we assume that the audience out there, most of them haven't seen the original film. The new audience is seeing this as if for the first time. So we had to create an entirely different world for ourselves and a different story, but the one that the people who have seen the first one can still appreciate. So that was our kind of balance.
Was this one more difficult to shoot?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This was a bigger movie. It had a lot more ambition to its storytelling. And it was more difficult because of the effects, because of the, logistics of shooting in Los Angeles, and much, much more difficult.
You have so many different moments going in it, sequences, the tidal wave, for instance. Now, how was that achieved?
With great difficulty.
I could tell.
Well, basically, you have a situation where you have Peter Fonda and Kurt Russell surfing down Wilshire Corridor. It's a giant canyon down the middle of Wilshire Boulevard on the front of a tsunami wave. And there is no canyon down the middle of Wilshire, and there is no tsunami coming in. So that has to be created whole cloth, as if you're just sewing the whole thing together. But we had a little bit of luck and managed to pull it together.
Then you have another one at a theme park that's quite extraordinary also.
Yes, it's a theme park that's changed owners because the original owners went bankrupt. This thing in Paris that they got involved in was financially ruinous to them. But that was the most difficult scene for me to stage, this gigantic battle scene. But you had your actors 80 feet up in the air on wires, in hang gliders, shooting machine guns with bombs going off underneath them. It was an exciting time to be shooting.
Well, it comes off seamlessly. I mean, it's so well done, John.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you really think that they're zooming all over the place in those things. When you approach a project like this, is it with some fear and trepidation, or is it with excitement? Oh, we're back in the saddle, or what is your thought?
Well, I'm smart enough not to jump up and down at any project or take anything for granted. My job is to tell the story the best way I know how, within the time I'm given and the constraints that I'm given. So I bring my professionalism to bear, and I get very serious. On the other hand, working with Kurt Russell, it's impossible not to have a good time. He's such a wonderful character and an irresistible human being and a dear friend. So every night it's fun to go to work. I have the greatest job in the world.
I myself am a fan of your work, and a young man who works with me is a tremendous fan of yours. What kind of advice do you give to aspiring directors, aspiring screenwriters?
The most important thing you can do in your writing and your filmmaking is make whatever you're doing personal to you. Make it a part of yourself. Put yourself into the material. Even if you're a gun for hire and you're going out to direct a film that someone else has written, bring yourself to the project. Because in the end, that's what makes movies great, a personal vision.
Well, thank you again for your time, John. It's wonderful to see you, and I hope it won't be another several years before we have this chance to visit again.
Me too, thanks.
Thanks, John. There's a young man working with me who's an aspiring screenwriter.
We're real close to being on schedule.
Deborah, it's good to see you again.
Hi, nice to see you.
Based in Dallas for all of the NBC stations.
So, you know, Texas has such great women. You know?
Okay, that's the best.
I was saying earlier, you know, with Ann Richards and so many of the great mayors, San Antonio and Corpus Christi, a lot of great women fight and left all the women to tend the ranches.
Well, that
they became
happened.
tough fiber.
You bet.
4 minutes today.
All right.
That's cute.
Deborah, it's good to see you again. It's
Nice to
been
see
quite
you.
a while, but of course I keep up with your career, and now here you are producing Escape from LA. You also were involved with the first one, Escape from New York. As far as budget is concerned, how would you compare the two from, you know, New York to LA?
Well, we had considerably a lot more money on this picture than we had on the first one. The first movie cost $7 million, but that was 16 years ago, and I think money bought a lot more than it did now. The movie budget on this movie, all in, is $50 million.
50?
50.
Well, that still is very good for the kind of picture it is.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. It was a struggle. You know, we only had a 70-day shooting schedule, and when the other movies that are out this summer that we're competing against in terms of box office all had considerably higher budgets.
In some of these effects that, well, the hang glider, for instance, and the tidal wave. I don't know, as a producer, how in the world do you are you able to project what things like that are going to cost?
Yeah, it's an educated guess at best, and what you try to do is you make a deal where if it goes over, they pay for it.
Who is they?
The special effects houses. You know, it's the kind of thing where effects have become so state-of-the-art now. Technology is where, as a filmmaker, whatever you imagine, you can really almost realize. And so it's making it harder and harder because so many of these effects, these movies are driven by effects and not with character and story. And I think it's always important to come back to say story and character are the most important thing. No matter how much you dazzle the viewer, story and character is really what compels me.
Deborah, how do you feel about this thing that's going on now where you pick up the newspaper and magazines and you're always reading this star is getting 12 million and this star is getting 20 million and this one is going to get 21 million. What does that do to the business?
Well, it's hard. I mean, I want to hit that right on the head here. My star, Kurt Russell, got $10 million for his role here as Snake Plissken, but he also co-wrote the movie and he co-produced the picture, and I think he's worth $10 million because he has the ability to open up a movie in the marketplace. I do, however, think that some of the stars are overpaid, and it's unfortunate that it's so hard to open a movie that if you don't have title recognition, then you have to get some recognition, star recognition. And I think it's always so wonderful when films like Independence Day opened so big and really didn't have the star power. You know, Will Smith is a star, but he's not a megastar. And it's kind of refreshing. It goes to show you that you don't really need it. A good concept and a good story, it always is the best.
Don't you think also that the people who put themselves in the 12 million and up category, if they have a couple or 3 pictures that don't do all that well, then aren't they just jeopardizing their careers forevermore?
They price themselves out of the marketplace. John Travolta, who had a great comeback with Pulp Fiction, there's some material that he would be fabulous at, but because his price is so high, we don't even think about giving him a script. You know, so what happens, I think, is that they price themselves out of the market. I always love it when stars who've gotten a lot of money come back with their pet project, like Sylvester Stallone, I think, is doing a project where he's taking very little money. Tom Cruise, I have a great respect for him, because he wanted to put all the money up on the screen on Mission Impossible and decided to take a back-end position. I have more respect for these guys.
Well, Deborah, I could sit here and talk with you the rest of the afternoon. I like these kinds of conversations.
Great. Maybe we'll come down and visit.
All right, do that. Meanwhile, I wish all the best for you with Escape from LA. It's a heck of a picture.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Deborah.
Great.
Thank you.
Goldie okay? Kids?
She's doing good. I talked to her this morning. She's been in London. We've been on vacation for the last few weeks.
Oh, good for you.
And she's in London starting to do First Wives Club stuff. Which I think you'll probably like. I think it sounds like
I've been hearing about
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
I am looking forward to that.
I think Goldie.
We have speeding terrific.
All right. Kurt, we've been looking forward to this because when we did Executive Decision, we talked about the fact that you were working on Escape from LA, and now it's here, and congratulations.
Thanks very much. It's fun. I mean, it's nice to be done with it. And it was, at the time we talked, John and I were writing. So it's always fun to go from an empty page to watching something on the screen, and hope the audience has a good time with it.
Is Snake Plissken really your favorite role?
Yeah, I have enjoyed many parts, and have been fortunate enough to play a lot of different characters. And I think the one that I've enjoyed the most is Snake Plissken, and that's because he's just more unique than any of the others. I think he's one of the most unique characters I've ever watched on the screen. I was watching Casablanca the other night and thinking that Rick is one of the great unique characters. I think Snake Plissken's, people just don't get him off their mind. They talk about him 16 years later. They still talk about that movie and that character. And I think that Snake is an original, is an American character, an outlaw.
While it is the same character, Snake Plissken, it's not really a continuation of Escape from New York. This is a whole different thing.
It's a different time, different world. It's a deja vu story. I mean, the more things change, the more they stay the same, but it's a different world. And Snake is the only thing that hasn't changed in it. Everything else has changed, but he remains true to himself, incorruptible, incorruptibly bad, uncaring.
Your entrance is just great. And
that's a good shot.
Yeah, and that is the original outfit, isn't it?
Yeah, we thought when you first saw him again, we've felt very close to the audience that likes the first movie. And we wanted to make a movie that they could like, first and foremost. And then a movie that hopefully, as the first movie did, would gain other audience members that would appreciate the movie. But those core fans, we wanted to have them say, yep, there he is. This is the movie. This is the Escape from New York world. It's now Los Angeles. It's different. We're going to see something different. But there he is. That's the guy. And he looks like he feels and acts the same way. And it was important to be able to, establish that in front. And I had kept this outfit from the first movie, and it was just stuffed in a closet. And I said, well, I guess I'll go find that costume and see if I'd never kept a costume from any other movie. So it was the only one I had. So I put it on, and it almost fit. And I said, well, we got 6 months before we start. I'm on my regimen and my routine. I should be able to get in shape and make that. And I was able to. I put it on and was able to wear it.
Looks great.
Thanks.
A little beat up, but it looks
yeah,
great.
Little, 16 years old. Yeah, it smells a little.
It seems, Kurt, that in this day and time, the stars of your stature have to be able, you have to be a gymnast and an athlete and a magic maker all rolled into one. It's getting just incredible.
It depends on how much you want to do and how much you can do. What I find is interesting is that with the advent of the new technologies, theoretically, it should be taking the load off of us. And what it does, though, when you get inspired by it is all it does is promote more. And you say, yeah, that'd be great to do it that way, but what if we did that part of it that way, but then that would allow me to do this. And you find yourself still doing as much, if not more than ever. And it doesn't get any easier. As you get older, it doesn't get any easier.
Well, it's getting better, we can say that.
Thanks.
Kurt, again, congratulations on Escape from LA. It's just a great romp from beginning to end, and I think people who love action films are just going to love it.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Great
much.
movie.
Thanks, Kurt.
Thank
you. You like this?
So it's cheaper to fly. So I fly here. But I like being in Honolulu. I like going to church and having my friends and family and the folklore and hiking and all of that.
Having a real life.
Yeah.
We have speed, Bobby, when you're ready.
Yes, I'm just trying to get organized here so I don't get a memo.
Well, you look great. It's a great color.
Oh, thank you. It's really great to be able to sit here and talk with you, Pam, because we did talk some years ago, but it's been a long, long time.
It must have been. I must have been, what, 7?
Yeah, we were both 7.
You were 15 and I was 7.
Okay. Anyway, congratulations on your role in Escape from L.A.
Well, thank you.
Just
Thank you.
great.
I'm honored to be here, and like John said, you did a great job, and everyone's going to want to know about it, so you're going to have to come with us. I go, oh, no, not that, not the junket. But I'm really honored to be here, and everyone has such an interest in the character that I portrayed.
What should people know about your character before they go?
Well, it's definitely not me. It's a great development in characterization. I play Kurt's former partner, who was Car Jack Malone, one of his homeboys in the hood. You know, we hung out, we stole cars together, we picked up women together, we duked it out, you know. And then I'm a transsexual, and I become Hershey Las Palmas, this exotic diva who's mysterious, and I have this armpit hair that I grew out, and what they wanted was for the creative tension in this part of the story, they wanted me to be able to confront Kurt, to let him know I'm still Carjack Malone, I still have the physicality to kick his butt, push him around, intimidate him, and then to switch him mid-sentence in a fraction of a second and be this exotic diva who tries to seduce him and mess with him, play with his mind. So there's a subtext that he can work with that we play off of. So I give him all this energy, and Kurt's going, yeah, give me more. He loves this energy. So it creates a lot, because you don't know if I'm going to beat him up, throw him in the pool, or take him to bed, you know. So we had that, and they needed that in the movie, which is a part of the balance of the dark, you know, theory in the movie and the theme, and to have tongue-in-cheek and humor. So, you know, balance is also one of the main themes in the story, is a balance in our society, whether it's political, religious, artistic environment. You got to have balance to keep, you know, our world in harmony. So with this character, there is this balance, because you have this very masculine guy, and then you have this female. It's like going back and forth, back and forth. And for me, it was very complex to pull off, but it was a work that I really enjoyed doing, because I love character development. You know, most of the complex roles for women, or for most actors, are in theater, not in films, and especially an action film where it's nothing but action. You don't have time for character development. So to be able to have this moment in time, and to be able to be physical, and, you know, hang glide and hold a machine gun and run and jump and play with the boys, you know, it's a lot of fun. I love to play with the boys, you know, and because they have so much more fun than the girls do. They really do. That's why I was envious of my brothers. I had to do the dishes, dust, and clean up and cook and all of that, and the boys got to go outside and play, you know, and swing from trees and fall off roofs.
I have to ask you one thing. Did they alter your voice electronically?
Yeah, they did. Now, I projected with the lower register. You know, all my dialogue was very low. You know, what's up, Holmes? How you doing? And then they lowered it even more with the computer. And now you know what I'll sound like with, you know, testicles, or, you know, a high level of testosterone. You know, it's like Isaac Hayes or Barry White, you know. And when I saw it, I fell out laughing. I was hysterical. Almost had to gag me during the screening, because it just seemed so funny to me, you know, humorous to see me, my femininity, and my features, even though I had the tattoo and the hair and the, you know, some of the stuff going on, and then to see my face and then hear this very, very deep voice. It was funny. It was just funny to me. I just fell out laughing. So I'm going to go see it again and again, and I don't know about showing my mom this role. She's going to say, what happened? She may shock her so much, you know, because she knows me as being this very feminine, even though I will get on the roof and clean out the gutters for her, you know, because I'm the only one that will do it. And to see this very female Pammy, and then this very, very, you know, masculine voice. It might give her a heart attack. I don't know if she should see it.
You do it great, Pam, and it really adds a lot to the film.
Thank you.
And I thank you so much for your time today, and I hope we'll see one another again.
We will, Bobby,
Okay.
on Mars Attack, you know, with Tim Burton.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. One thinks I live here.
Here, you better.
You know, but car insurance is higher, so it's cheaper to fly.
Cliff, it's nice to see you again. It's been a long time since we've been able to sit like this and talk. But
I look forward to coming back to Dallas, and hopefully one of these days with Charlie too. I've written a sequel to it, so maybe we'll be talking about another picture one of these days.
I would love to see that, a
Thank
sequel.
you.
I'd love to see that.
Thank you.
That is one of the most memorable movies
Thank you.
If that does come on at any time, I don't care what hour of the day or night, I have to stop and look at it.
Bless your heart. Well, it stood the test of time over these years, and I wrote a sequel because so many people said, "Whatever happened to Charlie?" Because he, and it was so popular that I wrote a sequel, and all we need now are some people who believe enough in it to finance it at a modest budget. I'm a very frugal director, and capitalize on that kind of following that we have on that picture. So maybe some wealthy people in Dallas will get involved. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, we hope for the best.
Thank you.
I must say that I think that you and Michael Douglas and Bill Pullman should get together and form an ex-president's club.
But but none are as bad as this dude. I am a bad dude. They play, I guess, rather exemplary characters. My character has no good features. He is an amalgam, if you will, of all the bad features of any president or aspirant or candidate that you could imagine, and is projected 25 years in the future. So if you take all these noir aspects, put him in one guy, that's his character. He's a guy you hate, and I hope you love to hate, because that's the idea. The whole idea is sort of poking fun at a lot of the frailties in our civilization.
And it seems like you would be the last person for that role, Cliff, because you're really a very gracious person. And so it's a tribute to your acting ability.
Or else the dark side in my soul, I don't know. But I think most actors, not all actors, but most of us like a variety of roles. There are some actors who do wonderful jobs playing the same basic character with different uniforms and suits on. But I like to stretch it a little more. It's less, it's not boring that way.
I should think that you would have met many presidents in your lifetime.
Mm-hmm. I guess I've met, well, all the way from Kennedy on. Even Nixon, I've met them all. I met them all. And I'm a guy in the middle of the road, so that's pretty good. I haven't had to go to the left or to the right to do it. I haven't met Clinton.
You have not?
No.
No. Did you think that the Nixon movie was anything like Nixon as you knew him?
I didn't see it.
You haven't seen it?
And I didn't know him that well. I met him. I didn't even meet him in the White House. I was invited, but I didn't go. I had some other things to do. But I did meet him one time at a social function. But I'm not a student of him, and I didn't see the film, so I can't comment.
I should think that you would have felt very close to John F. Kennedy.
Yes, I did. I met him and I knew him, so yes, I admired him.
Yes, and having portrayed.
Yes. And he was so gracious in the process, when I was doing a picture in New York called Sunday in New York with Jane Fonda, he invited me to come down to the White House. And I went down and had a lovely meeting with him. We talked like all fathers about our daughters, and subsequently wrote and corresponded in the short time left in his life. He was assassinated shortly after that.
What treasured memories do you have? Yes.
Of him?
Yes.
In that meeting? As a father, he was a loving father, and I like to think I'm a loving father. He was really focused on his children, and I think I am. And he also was interested in me, and he didn't circle it around and talk about himself. And I'm sitting on 2 inches of that sofa. He was on this rocking chair, and I was sitting there like this, and I kept thinking, what a gracious man. And when I was waiting in the cabinet room. I thought it looked familiar, and I suddenly realized it was a cabinet room, and suddenly I heard a voice say, "Hi, Cliff," and the door opened behind me. I hadn't even noticed it was there, and here was the president. And he said, "Great to see you. Won't you come in?" And instinctively he tried to usher me in, and I suddenly stopped and thought, "Oh, no, I don't go ahead of the president." I said, "After you, Mr. President." He kind of chuckled.
That's
Had
great.
a great sense of grace and a great sense of humor.
Cliff, they're going to throw us out of here, or at least me, not you.
I hope to see you back in Dallas.
I hope so too, Cliff. And meanwhile, congratulations to you on your performance in Escape from L.A.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
Lovely interview. Thank you.
Really appreciate the way you're moving things along, man.
No problem.
Great.
I have a reputation.
Any questions on the show? And hello, Steve.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. My name is Bobby.
Hi, Bob.
I'm based in Dallas.
Ellie came by.
Oh, we'll listen to him. Uh-oh. We don't want him to know about us, do we? Yeah, our own little secret. Now, just give me 1 second here. Because I don't think you want Pam Greer's questions. Might
I'll
be
take
kind of
them.
fun.
Yeah.
Might be kind of fun. All right.
Anytime you're ready, Bob.
Buscemi, right?
I say Buscemi.
Buscemi.
Some say Buscemi. It's okay. Either way.
When they say, what is your name? What do you say?
I say Buscemi.
Buscemi.
Yeah.
All right. What is the origin of your
It's
name?
Italian.
Oh, all right. Yeah. You are such a hoot in this movie,
Oh,
Escape from
thanks.
L.A. I mean, and of course the line that just broke up the audience the other night was the line about the theme park.
Yeah, I'm glad that that went over because I didn't know if people would get that, but that's good that they do.
Yeah, it's a line that refers to the fact that the theme park went
Right.
bankrupt.
Yeah.
And then you say,
That thing in Paris killed him.
see. But I think audiences now are quite hip to
Yeah,
things.
I guess they are, yeah.
And of course, this being an LA audience, you would
Right,
expect them
right.
to get it.
Right.
Yes. Do you ever improvise when you're doing films?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit on this. I mean, the character was scripted that way, that he had that many lines and he talked that fast. But there were sometimes when John just wanted me to keep going, and so I would.
You're selling maps to the homes of the stars, but now you have it. You've gone electronic.
Right. It's on CD now, and actually nobody lives in these houses anymore. But you can go to where they used to live.
And now I caught a $50,000 line. I mean, you weren't. Is that what you were selling that thing for?
Yeah.
$50,000?
Yeah.
No wonder you
This is
didn't
the
have any-
future. Inflation. You know. It's.
Wow. I better start saving more money. When you first came out to LA,
Mm-hmm.
did you try to, get into the Hollywood thing, go around and see everything and,
No, see, I live in New York, and that's where I did a lot of my work. I come from doing theater and a lot of low-budget independent films, and so I didn't come out here until I had a job. I didn't come out here to look for work. My first film that I was hired in New York, and then was brought out.
You have such a distinctive look, and I should think that when people, producers and directors see you in a movie, and that they would think of characters and they'd say, get me Steve Buscemi, or someone that looks like that. Do you
I hope they get me instead of the guy who looks like me.
Well, maybe you're not available, Steve. If you're not available,
Right.
then no. But are you aware of that kind of thing that might be going on?
A little bit. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think I'm getting more scripts. Excuse me. That where the character has a certain kind of energy, or has a certain maybe weirdness to them that they want me to play. But I mean, I have to be careful about playing too many of these parts. I try and be selective, or at least work with people that I really admire, and John Carpenter is somebody that I really wanted to work with.
Your, as you call it, weirdness, though, is, or at least I have not seen you in anything where you were diabolical. I mean, your weirdness is kind of charming, and you have an affection for the person.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that's been written into the characters that I've played, that I've picked up on, and that I mean, I've been lucky to play some really good parts and work with some really good people.
Well, I hope this does well, because I think it's quite a romp of a movie. I mean, as
good.
far as an action picture, and.
Escape from LA failed to meet the studio's expectations at the box office and received polarized reactions from critics.
Going to L.A. Bring back the black box, and you will receive a full pardon for every immoral act you have ever committed in the United States.
After a major earthquake, Los Angeles is a prison island isolated from the rest of America, which is run by a president for life, played by Cliff Robertson. His daughter has stolen a black box containing satellite codes that could turn off all power in the world, and she has fled to Los Angeles Island, and now the president wants an outlaw named Snake, played by Kurt Russell, to go in and capture her. That's the setup for John Carpenter's Escape from L.A., a sort of sequel to his popular 1981 movie Escape from New York. The movie is, of course, strong on action scenes, including a protracted chase involving the outlaw ruler of L.A., played by George Corafaci.
Nobody rolls into town and disrespects me. Not Snake Plissken, not nobody.
What's fun about the movie is its anarchic willingness to try absolutely anything. Look at this scene where an aging surfer, played by Peter Fonda, leads Russell in surfing down what used to be Wilshire Boulevard, while meanwhile Steve Buscemi, as an agent and fixer named Map to the Stars, drives alongside.
Gotta be kidding.
That's far out. A little later, Snake meets a transsexual he used to know in Cleveland. Played by Pam Grier with an artificially lowered voice, this character agrees to join his attack on the ruling mob and says there's only one way to get there in time. Parasailing, of course. Escape from L.A. is one of the bravest movies John Carpenter has ever made because he has spent a big pile of money on a special effects action picture and not been afraid to satirize himself and the genre in the process. It's a deliberately absurd movie, using a lot of older movie stars for their value as icons and working in a lot of jokes about Los Angeles and Hollywood. The movie is not respectable and not conventional, but it is original and daring, and it goes for broke. I have to applaud Carpenter for his anarchy, his energy, and his sense of humor.
And I can, Roger, and I knew that we were going to split this way because I knew that if you read off the plot line of this and told what the characters were, it would sound very funny. But I don't think the actual movie on the screen supports it. In other words,
so I didn't see the movie, I just read the plot description? Come on, Gene, I saw the movie.
No, okay, and I saw it too.
Yes.
And what I'm saying is the idea of Peter Fonda as the old, hippie coming back and surfing, that sounds great, and I was prepared to laugh.
When you saw them surfing, right down the street with a Cadillac next to them, and he jumps onto the back of the Cadillac from his surfboard.
Because the dialogue between them and the stuff with Steve Buscemi was so tired, and the anarchic...
Steve Buscemi's dialogue, it's wonderful in this movie. He's always trying to arrange a deal for him.
And the anarchic, the gang leader who's running the island is so boring. I like all of it. Pam Grier, of course, bring her back. That's fun. I get the joke, but I'm not laughing because the joke isn't that funny as played out.
Gene, you should have gone just a little bit further and opening your mind up to this film,
it was open.
You have to make a difference between just a genre picture and a movie like this that really is trying to break the boundaries.
I acknowledge every single attempt, and I think they failed right down the line. And there's a lot of noise that's very routine in the film. Coming up.
Welcome to this video preview. For everyone's enjoyment, we'd like to remind you of the following rules. No talking, no smoking, no littering, no red meat, no freedom of religion. And remember, all marriages must be approved by the Department of Health. Failure to obey these rules will result in immediate loss of citizenship and deportation to the island of Los Angeles.
You got a problem with that?
Plan your escape to rental revenue as Paramount Home Video brings home the $25 million box office smash, Escape from L.A. It's the go-for-broke action extravaganza that critics are calling a provocative, high-octane action thriller. Filled with fast-paced fun, it's your new best bet for action-adventure. Kurt Russell is back as outlaw hero Snake Plissken in the thriller-minute sequel to Escape from New York. And Kurt Russell means business with video success you can't escape.
It's interesting to watch the first movie. People forget there's very little action in the first movie. It's very, very intimate. Not much physical activity. It moves though. This one is very similar in its movement, but it has a lot more action.
And featuring a knock-'em-dead cast, including Peter Fonda of Easy Rider.
I think this will be a tremendous hit because it's exciting characters. The other actors are very interesting. And Snake, I mean, nobody's that cool. Not even Captain America.
Cliff Robertson of 3 Days of the Condor.
It is a very, very unique insight into some dark possibilities that could happen.
Steve Buscemi of Fargo and Desperado.
Everybody I talk to that I tell them that I'm working on this film, they just love the first one, and they remember everything about it. And so it's exciting for me to work on the sequel.
Valeria Galina of Rain Man, Hot Shots, and Hot Shots Part 2.
I don't usually like sequels but that specific movie, I was such a huge fan of Escape of New York that I thought I really gotta check it out.
And directed by John Carpenter.
We designed the film to be as a movie that stands on its own. In other words, if you've never seen the first film, it doesn't matter, because you understand who Snake is, you're introduced to him. But if you've seen the first film, hopefully it will even get a little bit deeper and more fun.
The trailer for Escape from L.A. will be seen on the video release of a Very Brady sequel, generating over 23 million consumer impressions. And a post-street radio promotion for Escape from L.A. will be heard in the top 35 U.S. and Canadian markets. Plus, Escape from L.A. is a non-revenue sharing release. So get ready for all those customers looking for an escape in your store.
It is a great ride, and it is a great escape.
Escape from L.A., now on video cassette, exclusively from Paramount Home Video.
Escape from LA was released on VHS in the US and Canada in early 1997, and in the rest of the world later that year.
He's back in a savage time, in a race against the clock.
Nobody draws until this hits the ground.
A race for his life. Kurt Russell.
Call me Snake.
Escape from LA, rated R from Paramount, coming soon.